Hi, now we will talk about time complexity based on the examples. The examples will be Java based, but it doesn't matter if you have knowledge in C, C++, or in any other language, no worries, concept is the same. And if you want to support me at making free videos for you, don't forget to subscribe. So let's now start. We will talk about the time complexities O1, On, and On square. So first we will talk about constant time complexity. Imagine that we have 5 numbers. So we remove here the rest of the elements. Imagine that we have 5 elements in our array. And our function that we are looking now, here you see get first element. Our function is taking the first element of an array and returns it. And we print it. That's it. So our algorithm is like very simple. So what we are doing is just accessing the first element of the array. So if we run this application with this input size, and then we will print out 1 because we only access the first element of the array, as I have mentioned. But what happens if we try to increase the input size maybe 3 times? So we have now 15 elements instead of 5. So what is gonna happen? So if we run it again what happens is the call comes to here and we are accessing the first element of the array. So what we observe here, the observation is that whatever input size is, we still do only one operation, and that is accessing the first element. So that means that the time complexity is constant time. So O1, that means whatever the input size we have, it does not matter how much we increase, the time complexity is the same because we only do constant time of operations, constant number of operations. So now let's move to On time complexity. I will uncomment this one, and now let's look into it with only 5 elements, and I will uncomment this new example function for this big On. So if we see what's going on here, like we have the same array, like 5 elements in array, and we are calling this print all elements method. And inside this function, what we are doing is we have a for loop and we go through each element in the array and we print out the element. So that means that if we have 5 elements, we go through the for and we print it 5 times. So we do 5 operations because 1 operation per each element. So if we run this now, so you see that we have 5 elements printed out because we have 5 elements in the array. So what if we do it, we increase the input size 4 times. So before it was 5 elements, so we had 5 printouts. So it means that we had 5 elements and 5 operations because in for loop we were going through each element. So what if now we increase it to 20 elements? How many prints we will have? How many operations we will have? As you see here, it's obvious, of course, it is very easy example. We will print elements, all the elements, and the 20 elements will be print, and we will have 20 prints. So we will access each element and we will print them. So 20 operations we will have, that means. So if you see here, we have 5 elements, we increase it 4 times, our operations increase 4 times also. So that means that it is complexity is big On. So it means that it is linear complexity. So if we increase the input size 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and 4, 5, 6 times respectively, the time complexity will increase. So let's move to big On square. What we call this quadratic time complexity. And I will uncomment this part, and the same way I will comment this previous example and uncomment this one. And we can also copy it to the top so we can see both parts at the same place. So if we look at this example, let me remove this and keep only 5 elements. If we look at this example, we see that we go through the array in for loop, and we go through the array again in the other for loop. So there is like a inner loops. So what it does is it prints the pairs. So that means that we have this 5 elements in the array, and we have the same array we go through again. So every time we print the pair, so that means that if we are in this for loop, we do 1 1, we print 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5. So we print all these pairs, and then respectively 2 3 4 5 also. So if we run this application, 5 elements paired with the same 5 elements, that means that we will have 25 pairs, right? And if you see here in the console printout, we will see that we have 25 printouts. So that means that every time we access elements in for loop, but this system out print line will run for 25 times. So of course, like as you see here in system out print line, we access the different 2 indexes of the array, but for now we will consider that okay, we are going through system out print line and we will accept it as one operation, just like for the sake of simplicity. So that means that we do 25 times system out print line statement, right? So with 5 elements, if we note down it here, with 5 elements we have 25 prints, and each print has like we access array elements twice, because with first element of the pair and the second element of the pair, and that means that we will have 50 operations. What if we make it 10 elements? What is gonna happen? Of course, 10 elements paired with the 10 elements, it will be 100 pairs, right? So if we run it again, it will go 100 times. It means that if you note it down here, 10 elements, it will have 100 prints. So for each print we access 2 indexes of the elements. So that means that if we have 100 prints, then it means that we will have 200 times element access operations. So if we see that what we did, we increased the number of the elements 2 times from 5 to 10. And how many times the number of operations increased? It increased from the 25 to 104 times, and respectively specific operations increased from 50 to 200, so 4 times. That means that when we increase the number of the elements 2 times, operations increase 4 times, and that means that n square time complexity. So the conclusion is that O n square means that whatever times we increase the input size, the time complexity will increase quadratically. So I hope you understand it now better, and if you want to support me, and if you like me making this kind of videos, free videos for you, please subscribe and turn on the notifications. If you have any questions, you can post it in the comments and I will for sure get back to you.